So today I want to start by showing you the two different ways you can use to access your ShareFile account. The first one, you can go to sharefile.com, and on the upper right corner of the page, you're going to have the option to log in. So if I click on login, it's going to take me to a website that is going to ask me to enter the account's subdomain to continue. And there's actually a very good example in here. Let's suppose that your ShareFile account is the domain of your ShareFile account is mycompany.sharefile.com. So anything, or actually everything that is in front of that sharefile.com is going to be considered the company's subdomain. In this case, my company is the subdomain of the account. To give you a real life example, my domain is fcastro.sharefile.com. So the only thing that I'll need to enter in here is fcastro. So you can see that I'm not entering the .sharefile.com because that part is not needed. So anytime you're asked by your account's subdomain, you just need to enter that. And I'm going to click on continue. What the system will do is that it will automatically take me to the login page of my ShareFile account. As you can see, the only thing that I'll need to do in here is enter my email and then enter my password, and I should be good to go. However, let's go back and let's suppose that you don't know, or you just don't remember what your subdomain is. So there's a very good option in here. Don't know your account's subdomain, so you can click on that one. And on the next page, the system is going to ask you for your email address. So what we do, or what we need to do in here is to enter the email address that you think it's related to your organization's account. So I just need to enter that, click on I'm not a robot, and then I can click on continue. What the system will do after this is that it's going to send me an email to that email address with a list of all the domains my email is part of. So let me go to my email inbox, and as you can see, I just received the email from ShareFile, and the system is going to give me the list of all the domains that my email is part of, and the one that I'm looking for actually is the first one because I know that that's the one that I need to access. So here's where you can actually figure out what is the subdomain of your account. I can go back, and this is the second way for you to access your account. You can simply enter the domain, subdomain, the whole URL in your web browser of your ShareFile account. And as you can see, I can enter my email address. Then I can click on continue. I need to enter my password in here, click on sign in, and that will automatically take me to my ShareFile account. So those are the two different ways for you to be able to access your ShareFile account. Okay, so once that you sign in into ShareFile, the first thing that you're going to be able to see is your dashboard. And in the dashboard, you can actually edit the options that are listed in here by clicking on Edit Dashboard. In here, you can actually turn on and off the different options, so enable or disable them from being visible. So say that I want to add the tutorials and I want to add the favorites. I just need to enable them and then click on Save. Once that I do that, as you can see, favorites and tutorials are listed here, and I can play around with the order as well. I can just move the way they are listed in here by just dragging and dropping to a different section of the page. So what is important to take into consideration here is that, for example, favorites. This is going to be the list of all the files that you have marked as favorite. I'm going to show you an example in a minute. Shortcuts. It's basically all the shortcuts for the main options that are used in ShareFile. Pretty useful if you are in a rush and you just need to share a file or request a file from a user. Recent files is going to be the list of files that have been recently accessed. So the most recent file that you have opened is going to be listed in here. And then the tutorials, in case that you want to learn more about ShareFile, you can always come to the tutorials. If you have pretty basic knowledge, you can start by accessing the examples here or the videos from the basics section. Then you can move forward to the advanced section to learn a little bit more about the capabilities in ShareFile. You can also go to the helpful links, and then you can also access the ShareFile apps to better understand these different options that are in ShareFile. But this is a good way to learn about our tool. So this is how the dashboard looks like, and this is how you can actually customize the way you see the options in the main screen. Okay, so now let's go ahead and navigate through the different options in ShareFile. We're gonna focus on the option on the left-hand side. I want you to please take into consideration that my account is a Industry Advanced account. I'm part of the Industry Advanced plan, which means that I'm going to have pretty much all the options listed in here. On top of that, I'm the account owner of this ShareFile domain. That means that I have access to almost all the options that are in ShareFile. If you are missing options in here, that is going to be the reason. First of all, your company may be part of a different plan, and also your administrator could have restricted the accesses that you have within the ShareFile tool. So if you want to know what is your current ShareFile plan, and if you want to know whether or not you should have access to any of these options, you can always contact your administrator, or you could also contact your customer success engineer to get more details about that. So today I'm going to focus on these sections that are pretty much visible to all users, regardless of the plan that you're part of. Those sections are folders, the inbox section, and people section. Okay, so let's get started with folders. Okay, let's go over personal folders and share folders. Pretty much the difference here is gonna be like, you can think of personal folders of a storage location that only you can see. However, you can invite other people to your folders to see the folders that you own. And you can do the same in share folders. Depending on your permissions, you may be able to create folders. So that is important. Maybe your administrator has not given you rights to create root folders under the shared folders, and you may have access to a couple shared folders that other users have created. But let's focus on personal folders, and let's see how you can create a folder in this section. I have already created some, but I'm going to create a folder just for this example. I'm going to click on create folder in the plus sign, and I will go to test, give it a name, personal folder. So test personal folder is going to be the name. I can add details, kind of a description to the folder, and I can add people, meaning that I can invite other users to be part of this folder as well. I can also apply a template in case that I have already done or created a template in my system. However, if you don't have any, then you won't be able to select that from the drop-down menu. And I will click on create. So I didn't use a template and I didn't invite people. The folder is empty. It doesn't have any folders below and doesn't have any content. Now, it is important to know that here's where you can actually add information to the folder. You can either go to browse files, or you can click on the plus sign and go to create, upload. Those options will take you to this exact same location. So if I click on upload, I have this window, and then I can click on browse files. If I click on browse files, I will be given this window, and I can select a file that I want to upload. I will click on upload, And now I have a file within my folder. So important things to consider within the folder. You have the items section where you will see the folders and files that are part of the folder. You have the people folder where you will be able to add a person to the folder. You have more options. In these options, you have view activity log, which means that you can see all the activity that has happened within this folder. You can copy the folder, create a duplicate of it. You can move the folder to a different location. You can see the folder details. You can edit the advanced folder settings. You can go to the recycle bin for this specific folder. You can edit the folder invite. You can have a Q&A within the folder. You can go to delete folder, so you can remove that folder completely, or you can mark the folder as favorite. So let's go to more options. And let's go to the advanced folder settings, which is one of the most used options in this menu. If you go there, you will be able to set an expiration date, meaning that this is the longest the folder will remain within your share file folder structure. If you select this means that the folder will be deleted on a specific date, so be really careful when using that option. File retention policy is a policy that you can set for the whole account as an admin, or your users can set for their specific folders as well, where they will keep the files up to a certain date. So meaning that if you set an expiration date or retention policy actually on the folder, after that, the amount of days that you have selected, all the files will be removed. If you select 30 days, you can upload a file, and the counter will start from 0 on that file, and after 30 days of the file being in that folder, it will be removed. So that's pretty much how it works. File versioning is how many versions of the same file you want to keep within the folder. Sometimes you collaborate with other colleagues, all of them are making changes on the same file, so this will allow them to select the maximum amount of versions that will be kept within that folder. Say that you select 20, and then you want to apply that to existing subfolders. So that will also be inherited to the next folders that are below the main root folder. And you can also sort and order, so meaning that say that you want to present information or display the information in order, you can sort by file size, by name of the file, by uploaded, by creator, and then you can decide whether or not it's going to be or how it is going to be sorted. So it could be descending or ascending, and then you can apply that to subfolders. And finally, you have the folder template option in here as well, in case that you have a folder template that you want to apply to that folder. I'm going to cancel on that because I'm not going to make any of those changes for this example today. And then we have already uploaded the file. So as you can see, I have the plus sign. I have the option to upload a file. I have the option to create another folder within this folder. I can request files to be uploaded to the test personal folder that we are in at the moment. I can also create a Word document, a presentation document, or Excel spreadsheet, and then I can create notes with more details of the folder to have as a reference as well, and then I can create an URL to the folder too. You will also have the people option in here where you can add people to the folder. So say that I want to add a user, I will click on add people to folder. I will look for one of the users that are already in my ShareFile account. Say that I want to use my this email address, and then I'm gonna say what permissions this user is gonna have in this folder. So as of now, I'm giving this user permissions to view the files, download the files, and upload files into the folder. I can also allow them to delete files and folder that are in this folder. I can also give them permissions to be an admin, meaning that they will be able to add other people to this folder. So be really careful with this, especially if you are doing this on a personal folder. And I can also allow them to get notifications when files are downloaded from this folder and uploaded into this folder. I highly recommend to notify users when you add them to a folder so they can be aware that they have been added, and also apply These settings to other subfolders is an option that is listed in here. I will click on add, and I have now added this user with all those permissions into my folder. I can always come back here and edit these permissions, say that I don't want them to be an admin anymore. I can remove the permission and I can apply that to the other subfolders the user is part of and save the changes. So you can always go back to the people option in these personal folders as well. Okay, now we can move to the shared folders. And this is basically where you can actually create a root folder in the shared folders if your administrator has given you permissions to do so. So just plus sign, create folder, and this is going to be a test folder. Same thing, I can add people from to the folder from here if I want to. I will just select no, apply a template, and on these folders I can select a different location for storage in case that my organization has set up different storage zone locations. I will click on create folder, and as you can see I have all the same options, more options in here, items, people, and all the other options we already covered. In favorites, and I'm gonna go back to the personal folders just to give you an example of what this is. I'm gonna click on test personal folders and just gonna select favorites here. So take a look at this. If I click on this star, I will mark the file as favorite. If I go back and I mark this folder as well, the folder is now marked as favorite. If I go to my share folders, test, I can come to the test option and mark that as favorite. If I go to my favorites, now I have all those 3 items marked as favorite, and I can change the order as well in case that I want to. I can just move items around, and if I go to the dashboard, my favorites are gonna be as well in the favorites section if I had already enabled that here. Okay. Filebox. Filebox is a location where you can actually keep information that has been shared or requested from other users, but it was not done from a specific folder. Okay, so what I mean by that, let me give you just a quick example. Let's say that I go to the dashboard and I go to these 2 options, and I go to share files. If I go to browse files, if I want to share a file and the file is not in share file, and if I go to computer and if I select this agreement, this file will be saved in my file box. Okay, so I will click on continue, create link, and I have a link to share and everything, but the file was saved in my file box. If I go to the file box, the file will be there. This is the file that I just created. If I now go to the dashboard once again and I request files, and I don't change the default location from that option, I just click on edit. I can edit that, but if I don't change that, if I create a link and I share this link with a user, the file that is uploaded will be saved in my file box. Please take into consideration that the information that is here will be stored for only 180 days. After 180 days, these files will be permanently removed. So we highly recommend that if there are files in here that you want to keep, just select the files and move the files to a different location. You can select one by one, or you can select them all and click on move and select a different location to create a copy, or actually move the file and keep the files with you. Recycle bin. This is where all the files that have been deleted are stored. You can go ahead and restore the files by selecting the file and click on restore, or you can delete permanently. So if you want to get rid of them, just highlight them all and delete permanently from the system. Let's move to the people section. In the people section, I want to share how you can actually create users within ShareFile. You can create employee users or client users. The difference between these two is that client users are limited. They don't have as much accesses within the tool as an employee user can have. Uh, Employee users will be your colleagues, people that work with you, that are part of the same organization of the same company, whilst client users are gonna be contractors, external users, the clients of your organization. So be really I want you to be aware of the difference, because at the end of the day, if you create an employee as a client, this user is going to be very limited and they may want to have more accesses. And on the other hand, you don't want to give as much access to client users because they will have a lot of permissions in the tool if you're not careful when setting up their user within ShareFile. So there are two ways to create these users. It can either be from manage users home, or you can go to browse employees, I'm sorry, and click on create employee, or you can go to browse clients and click on add client. So let's go back here and let's say that I wanna create an employee. So I'm gonna click on create employee. And as you can see, I will always be required to enter 3 different pieces of information: first name, last name, and email address. The same applies when I try to create a client. I will need the same 3 pieces of information. Company is optional. And then I will also be given the opportunity to import multiple users at the same time using an Excel spreadsheet. If I use that, I highly recommend not to change the values in the columns when doing so. So if I just click on this one and I click on template spreadsheet, I have to download the template, and then I can, once that I have filled that out, I can import or upload this template into my share file. So if I click on template spreadsheet, I will have the downloaded version here. I will click on this one. It's gonna open. I will click on enable editing. So please do not modify these values. These are the columns that are set by default. So are gonna be email address, first name and last name, company, okay? Do not add additional values in here, and do not change the name of these columns. Just leave it like email address without spaces. If you modify that, that could corrupt the file and you're gonna have errors when importing users. So say that I want to use the same template. Say that I wanna use these examples here. These are dummy accounts. They do not exist. They are not real, but I'm gonna use them as an example. And I'm gonna import that into my share file. So I'm gonna close that and say that I wanna choose the file that I have already completed with all of the users that I wanna import as employees. So I basically need to click on choose file. And in here, I will look for my downloads. This is the one that I just downloaded, and that should already contain all the information that I want to import. I'm going to click on open, and I click on import users. So in here, I can go ahead and change the information. So say that I made a mistake, I can switch details in here, edit the information prior to importing these users. And this is important to know, I can add more people in case that I need to. So if it's just a single user, I can type in their information and company details. And import. It is also important for you to notice that I have the user access in here. I will only have this if I'm creating an employee. Client users will not have this option in here. So I will click on user access. And basically what this does is that this gives users admin permissions within the tool. So I can go ahead and select to access, give the permission to access company account permissions. Okay, I can go and also give them permissions to create root folders, use the personal file box that we have already explained. I can also give them access to access other users' file boxes, send items. I can give them permissions within the e-signature, which is available for premium accounts and industry advantage accounts. I can give them permissions to create users like clients, employees, delete them, edit the shared address book, shared distribution groups. I can also give them permissions to manage the super user group, which is a group of users that have access to all the shared folders within the folder structure. I can also give them permissions to edit the company appearance, access reports within ShareFile, view notification history, edit the single sign-on settings. I can give them permissions to see billing, and also add connectors, remove connectors, or create network shares, add or manage the storage zones, also select the storage zone when they are creating root level folders, and also manage folder templates, remote upload forms, and file drops. I will not give those permissions to these users because they are just empty or dummy accounts that will not make any difference if I do so. In here, I can assign folders to them. So if I have multiple users, I don't have to go one by one, create one by one, and select the permissions and assign the folders. I can just use a spreadsheet. I can import the users and select all the folders they are going to have access to. I can also add them to a distribution group and copy folder access from an existing user. So if I already have a user with specific accesses, I can copy the access from that specific user and assign that same access to the rest of users that I'm creating. I will create and continue. I have not assigned folders, so I'm going to continue anyway. I don't want to assign folders for this example. This is how the message will look. I can edit that, add more things to the message, and I can send me a copy of this email. If you want to preview the email, you can click on that option, and I will notify them. I'm just going to skip that for today. So that's pretty much how I create users. As you can see, I can see here that I have already used all the available licenses that I have. I can either request a plan change, or if I need to free up a license, I can go to the gear in here and then delete from the system one of the users, and now I have a license available. So that's how you can also get a license back. If a user is gone, is no longer part of the company, you can delete the user and assign the license to another user. Or if the user no longer uses ShareFile because it was moved to another division within the company, you can also claim that license back. So if I go to clients, it's going to be pretty much the same. I can click on add client. I still have the opportunity to import multiple users. I can add a user from here and then select assign folders, copy access. Please note that they do not have user access in here because they are client users that do not have much rights within the tool. And last but not the least is inbox on the left hand side. So in here, under the receive option, you're gonna get all the emails that have been sent to you, messages from people requesting documents from you or that have shared information with you. I don't have any, but you may see some items listed in here. If you click on compose, it is basically an option for you to create kind of an email that is being sent from ShareFile. So you have the to section where you can actually type in the email address of the user or select from the list of users that you have already used in the past. You can give the email a subject, and then you can type in a message that is going to be sent to the users. In here, you can add the items that you want to share with the user. So if you select from ShareFile, you have the option to select a file that is already in your ShareFile account. So I can browse and look for the file, and I can also go to add more items and select from my device. So as we already covered, these files will be uploaded to the file box because they are not in ShareFile. So the default location will be file box. I will select that one and I will click on continue in here, and I have those two items. I can edit the options for the link. So if I go there, I can select that the expiration date is going to be a week, and it's going to require the users to sign in order to access the files, and it's going to notify me when the file is accessed. I will click on save, and I will click on send. They will get an email, and they will be able to access the files if they sign in. Now, let's go to the sent section and say that I made a mistake. I don't want to give them access for 1 week only. So what I can do is that I look for the message that I just sent. I will click on the message here. I can either revoke access, maybe I shared the wrong files, or I shared a file for, yeah, maybe the wrong files, or I shared that with the wrong people, or I can edit the message options and I can extend the expiration date. So I say that I want to go with 30 days now, and I still want to be notified. So I save that, and that's how I can edit those options. If I have a file here that I no longer want to share with anyone, I can click on it and expire the link, and that will automatically remove access to links that I have shared with other users. This one say anonymous because these accesses were shared with people that do not require them to sign in to share a file, or were shared using share options from the folder or the dashboard. That's pretty much what I had to cover today. So hopefully the information was easy to understand, and we can now move forward with the next section.
Thank you so much, Fernando. It was a great information. And well, now I'm going to continue with the rest of the webinar. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to request and share files within a folder. So let me click on folders and let me access to personal folders. As you can see, I already created a couple of folders. However, the one that I'm going to use is this one that is called test1. Let me click on it. Okay. And also, well, you can see that I already uploaded a picture here. Okay. So from here, let me tell you that if you select the file, okay, you will be able to see a couple of options such as download, share, initiate approval, delete, export. If you click on more, okay, you will be able to see preview, move, copy, rename, checkout, favorite, and also add note. Okay. However, what I'm going to do right now is show you how to use the share feature. Okay. So let me click on share. And well, from here, let me tell you that there are two different ways for sharing files. Okay. You can create a link or you can send to a specific people. I'm going to show you both, but first of all, I'm going to create a link. Okay, as you can see, once you click on create link, ShareFile will generate a link that you can copy and paste on Slack, Google Meets, Zoom, Outlook, wherever you need it. Okay. So the process that you need to do is copy and paste it. However, let me tell you that if you click on the 3 points and click on edit options, you will be able to modify some permissions. Okay, let me show you those permissions. First of all, we have the allow people with this link too. As I said before, you can hover the mouse and you will be able to get more details. If you click on the drop down, you will be able to see the view, the download, or the edit option. This is for Office files. Now we have the who can access this link. Okay, if you click here, you can set a couple of permissions, such as anyone public must enter a name and email. We also have client and employee users after signing in. It is important to let you know that for this option, the recipient must have an account activated. Okay, just to let you know, because if the recipient doesn't have an account, that person won't be able to access ShareFile or access this link in this case. And last but not least, we have employee users. This is the extra secure option. And well, this is after signing in as well. Let me tell you that you can set an expiration date as well. So if you click here, you can select an option. For example, I'm going to use after 1 day. You also have this option that says always link to the latest version of the file. If you would like to get more details, you can hover the mouse there. We have the add a watermark if needed. And at the bottom, we have the notifications option. So if you would like to be notified once the link is accessed, you can check this option. Now let me just to let you know what I'm gonna do is change this option to anyone public must enter a name and email because I'm going to show you how it looks. And let me click on save. Okay, just to let you know, you can copy the link. Let me just use an incognito tab, and I'm going to paste the link here. And as you can see, what you need to do, or the person needs to do, is put the email address, the first name, Michael, the last name, Vargas, and company is optional. You need to click on the caption. Okay, we need to select a couple of squares here, and you need to click on continue. After that, the person will be able to access that file, just to let you know. Now, let me tell you that you can also share this link using the send to a specific people option. Okay, so if you click there, you will be able to, you will have the edit options as well, where you can modify permissions. As you can see, you can select, for example, those options. So we have view, download, and edit as well. For the expiration date, we can change the expiration date. We have this option that says require recipients to sign in. Always link to the latest version of the file. You can add a watermark. And for notifications, we have the option that says notify me when this is accessed, or send me a copy of this email. This is because we are sending an email to a specific person. Okay, let me click on cancel. Just to let you know, we have this option here that says encrypt this email. Okay, just to let you know, ShareFile encrypts all the information, but if you would like to encrypt the body of this message as well, okay, you need to enable this option. Okay, and what you need to do is, for example, let me use Maria Solis. I have an user here. Okay, you can retype the subject if needed, and you can click on send. And after that, Maria Solis will get, okay, this link in order to access the file that I just shared. Let me click on back. Okay, this is the process for sharing. Now, what about if you need to request files, okay, from this folder? The process is simple. What you need to do is click on the plus icon and select the option that says request files. Okay, from here we have the option that says get a link or send to a specific people as well. It is the same process as sharing. Okay, however, let me tell you that the first option that you will see is the file location. As you can see, as we are within this test1 folder, the file location will be this one. However, we can modify or edit the location as well. Okay, let me use get a link. Okay, and we can also modify the options or the permissions. If you click there, as you can see, we have who can access this link, anyone. Okay, if we click there, you will be able to see all the options. or we can, and also we can set an expiration date. Okay, just as an example, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use this anyone public, and I'm going to click on save. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it here. Okay, and I'm going to upload a file. I'm going to upload this PDF file. As you can see, the file was uploaded. So if I go back, okay, to share file, and if I refresh, I will be able to see the file here. Okay, and well, this is the process for sharing and requesting files. Now let me continue with signatures. And well, it is important to let you know that this signatures feature, okay, is only available for premium customers. So it means that if you have an advanced plan, okay, you won't be able to see this stuff. Okay, having said that, let me go to signatures. This is the first screen that you will be able to see, and basically it will show you all the files that you have created. But I'm going to create a new signature request. So let me click on this button, and after that let me click on send for signature. Okay, the first step is upload the file. You can upload the file from ShareFile, from the computer, or you can use a template as well. Let me upload the file from the computer. After that, we need to select the recipients. Okay, I'm going to use myself just as an example. It is important to let you know that you can add another recipient, and you can set the signing order as well. Let me click on next. Okay, from here on the left side, you will be able to select all the fields, okay, that probably you will need for your document. For example, you can select the test field, for example, for the name of entity or individual. You can use another test field for the business name. You can also use check boxes, as you can see. And well, just to let you know, it is important to let you know that if you see a red asterisk here, it means that this field will be mandatory. Okay, on the right side, you have a couple of options that you can use. For example, you can just enable or disable the required field. As you can see, the asterisk disappears. You can clear the background. You can put in a name field, etc. So basically, this is pretty customizable. Let me scroll down. Okay, at the bottom. And here, what I'm going to do is add the signature field. Once you do that, the next process is click on next step. Okay, from here you can put it a name. You can select where this file will be saved. You can add notes, okay, for this signer. You can also set an expiration date. As you can see here, we have 30 days. And for security, you can basically use a passcode. If we enable this, as you can see, it will generate a new passcode. If we click here, well, ShareFile will generate a new one as well. Let me just disable this. You can also use knowledge base authentication if you have it. And now let me click on send signature request. Okay, as you can see, this is the file. And for example, if I go to my email address, I will be able to see an email that comes from ShareFile. Let me access to my email pretty quickly. And this is how it looks like. What you just need to do is click on review and sign document. Click on got it. Got it one more time. And well, this is a mandatory field. So I'm going to put Michael here. This is another field that is mandatory. Let me put share file. If you want, you can just um, check those boxes as well. And at the bottom, we have the signature field. So let me just type my signature, Mike. And you can click where it says submit signature. Once the signature, once the file is submitted, okay, if I go back to share file, one moment please. Okay, you will be able to see this file as completed. If I click there, okay, you will be able to see all the fields. But also if you go at the bottom, okay, you can also see the signature certificate here. Okay, so this is the information for signatures. Now, let me show you some information from the dashboard. Now, from the dashboard, but at the upper right corner, you will be able to see the help option. If you click there, you can access the help center. So let me click on it. Let me tell you that you have a couple of options here. So for example, you have the ShareFile community, but also you can create a feature request ticket. So if you are looking for an enhancement or something like that, you can submit this ticket. Let me tell you that also you can get more information about ShareFile if you click on getting started. We also have the ShareFile community. So if you have questions regarding ShareFile, Podio, or API, you can post your question here and someone from the community will answer that question. Let me go back. We also have the product documentation and status page. So it means that, well, from the product documentation, you will be able to find all the information regarding ShareFile itself, okay? All the KBs. And for the status page, well, you can see the current status for the ShareFile products. So for example, if you click on ShareFile, you will be able to see the current status. Right now is up and running, okay? However, if ShareFile is down or if there is an issue with ShareFile, you will be able to see all the information here. Now, at the bottom right corner, we also have the chat with us option. So if you need to create a ticket with support, billing, or customer service, what you need to do is use this option and the corresponding team will assist you with the issue that you are facing. Okay. Now let me go back and let me tell you that we also have the apps option. Okay. As you can see, we have apps for Windows, for Mac, and also the mobile apps. And we also have third-party integrations. But just to let you know, we have ShareFile for Windows, ShareFile for Outlook, and also ShareFile for Gmail if we are talking about Windows. For Mac, we have ShareFile for Mac, for Outlook, and ShareFile for Gmail as well. Now, for mobile, let me tell you that we have ShareFile, okay, for iOS devices and also Android devices. So you can go ahead and install that application if needed. And last but not least, we have the third-party integrations. So as you can see, we have integrations with QuickBooks and also Salesforce. We also have the Microsoft Online integration or the Office Online integration. And well, we have a couple of products that you can establish that connection if needed. And well, that's all from my end. Thank you very much and thank you for joining us. Now we're gonna have the Q&A. So if you have questions, please don't hesitate to use the Q&A option and we will be more than happy to answer those questions that probably you might have.